So welcome back, everybody. We're gonna have a little fun in this episode using this new tractor to put in some food plots. All right, y'all, this is as late as I have ever decided to put in food plots. Man, it's been a busy year. But as you can see right over here is my hunting blind. Now what we need is a food plot out here. I have let this go far too long. Typically I've already planted almost 2 months before now. But this upper section about right here, a couple of acres, I typically plant this in peas and then come back right about this time of year, close to November, and I'll plant like a 3 or 5 way blend out here. Rye, oats, things like that that grow well during the winter, even when we get frost. So y'all may or may not have just watched an episode on this. I am currently testing this Solis 75 horse tractor. This is their newest model to hit the States. We've been using their little 24 horse for over a year and it's been awesome. So while I have this for a few weeks, we're gonna use it for everything we can. For mowing with the provided mower that they gave me. We'll run the disc behind it today, but this thing is a beast right here. If you wanna see all the specs and everything else on it, I'll put a video at the end of this one to where we just did a full review and walkthrough of it. Now it's dry. I don't expect the ground to turn over well. We haven't had rain in weeks. This is a horrible time to do it. But while I've got the tractor here and being that, well, gun season has pretty much already started, I need to get my food plot in. All right, so as previously discussed, we could run a much heavier and wider disc than this, although it barely does cover the tractor track, so that's awesome. But a machine this size, this is almost comical behind it. But this is about as big as I like running on my John Deere compact tractor. Now with this being so dry, it's gonna be almost impossible to sink into the ground and break this up. It's been weeks since we've had rain, but we need to go after this, and they're calling for no rain the next 10 days. So might as well get it done now before I have to send this tractor back. I typically plant my rows and run this way, but if you do that too many times, you wind up with humps out here from where the discs are turning the dirt, and it gets really rough. So I'm gonna run from corner to corner all the way across this, and then I'm gonna turn around and come back this way and cut across that as well. With this long grass and stuff that's left, what that also does is allow you to cut across grass that's, say, laid this direction. So we'll run across it with the disc that direction. But then some of your grass like this is laid over this direction. So when we come back this way, this just does a really good cutting going diagonal and then back across this direction. Now, being this tractor is as big as it is, I mean, look at that. That disc looks so tiny behind it. I'm just gonna run it in two-wheel drive. My other tractor, I have to run in four-wheel drive, especially once we start breaking the ground. I may have to put this in four, but I'll let you know. We're gonna run pretty fast too. First pass complete. So we've did all our cutting across, and I'm actually surprised it's turning over as well as it is for there to be practically no moisture in this top layer. As y'all seen, it is unbelievably dry, but we are making some progress. So now what I gotta turn around and do is start cutting across all of the horizontal cuts, and we should start really turning some stuff over then. The other thing I can't get over is how powerful this is. I'm running in two-wheel drive, medium range, 4th gear. So I'm moving along at a pretty good pace. Now, yeah, it's a relatively small disc, but that's not no light duty disc. It's actually a very heavy duty disc for a compact tractor. Well, we're definitely not running a compact tractor here, but I don't see any need to go to four-wheel drive, and again, mid-range, 4th gear. So this is actually a pretty enjoyable process running in this bigger tractor. The other thing I'm noticing, having bigger tires compared to especially the small front tires of a compact tractor, when I'm going into humps and ruts, it's not tossing me around in there nearly as bad. And I guess that makes sense. You got a lot more cushion in the air and much bigger tires. But overall, this is not as difficult to drive as I was thinking. I love my hydrostat drive, forward and reverse pedals, and the John Deere, but I'm working this field pretty good with this. I kind of like it. All right, boy, look at all the dust. Just got off the little Solis H24. We got the seed down. I cannot wait to get back in the cab tractor because that was dusty. So let me show you something I did to my disc and some adjustments we're gonna make, and then we're gonna go pack that seed in as best we can with this unbelievably dry ground. So right here on the back side of my disc, I welded in a receiver hitch, and now I have a 2-inch ball there. So we're gonna go pick up my roller packer, which is a big propane tank that I welded 2 of them together and filled full of water so it presses the seed in. So my discs are set in really aggressive to turn sull. I'm about to lift this up, come back a hole right here and up there, and we're going to get these discs to where they're not cutting as aggressive, basically where they're just going to smooth ground. We're going to lightly put them in the ground, then we're going to have this big roller packer coming behind it, pressing the seed into the soil. Then all we need is some rain and the stuff should germinate. At least that's what we hope. Let's get with it. We're losing daylight. Well, here we are. This actually chopped up a lot better than I was thinking for as dry as it is. Now we still have, you know, matted up clumps of grass and stuff down there. A lot of this is gonna die off. Some of it will not. That's just the way it is. Seems like I'm always behind every year. But looking around, I maybe see 1 or 2 little seeds. We've done an excellent job covering it up with the conditions that we've been left with. So I must say this setup works really, really well. Pulling the roller packer behind the disc, I really am happy that I built this setup to do that years and years ago. So that gives us the opportunity to cover the seed, level the field, and pack all in one go. Whereas in the past, I'd have to do that, then go back and hook up to this, and I'd be out here making an entire another pass across this. So this just really speeds the process up. Now, even though that's only 75 horsepower, not much more than mine, but a significant amount, it's all about the weight and heft. I've tried to preach this over the years, and I don't think people understand it until you just have it running around. Not only do we have gear drive here, which puts better power to the ground, we got ag tires, which is gonna work better out here in this type of soil, but heft and momentum. That's a lot bigger, heavier tractor, so something digging in the dirt like that's not gonna pull it down. We've got forward moving momentum. That's why I always say no matter what type of tractor you get, try to get the heaviest one you can get, not necessarily the most power. That's what everybody's always focused on. How much horsepower? Well, that's only really important if you're running a lot of PTO stuff and you really need the PTO horsepower. Heft and forward momentum is what you really want to look for if you're going to be doing stuff like food plots and a lot of ground engaging equipment. I'm not going to have this much longer, so we're going to try to do a few more projects with it. Its ultimate home is heading over to Josh Hardy So he's a friend of mine with a YouTube channel. I'm gonna put his link down there in the description. So be checking up in a few weeks whenever the tractor finally leaves here. And if you want to continue to see content on the tractor and how well it's performing, he's got some pretty cool stuff lined up with it and some attachments I do not have and a huge piece of property to work. A tractor this size is gonna do him some good. But I'll put a link down in the description if you want to go check him out and check out more of the content for this tractor. All right, y'all, I enjoyed it. It's been a long day. I'm heading up to the house. We're calling it a day. Catch you on the next one.